Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how you can create a SQLite database on Windows 11. Now there's a few ways that you can do this. For example, you could write a Python script that creates the database and even puts the information in it, and you could interact with it via a Python script. But I thought for someone doing this type of a search and looking for this kind of example or demonstration, a graphical user interface might be the best. So I'm here at SQLitebrowser.org, which is a program that you can install on your Windows machine that will allow you to create databases, SQLite databases, using a graphical user interface. So if you go to the download link on the SQLitebrowser.org website, you'll see that there's download links for the Windows installers right here on the page. And I have a 64-bit Windows machine, so I'm going to click this link, and then I'm going to save the file. And I already have it downloaded, but if I click save, you'll see that you can save it in your downloads and then download it. Once you get it downloaded, what you'll need to do is just go into your downloads folder and double click it, and you'll get this installation wizard. And I'm going to click next. I'm going to accept the terms and the license agreement and click next. And then I want the icons to be in my program menu. If you want yours on your desktop, you can click those as well. Now it's going to install two applications that run concurrently, as the information here says. It'll install SQLite, but then it'll install this extension that encrypts the database files. So we want to make your selections here and then click next. And it basically wants to know what features you want to add, and I normally just use the defaults and click next and then click install. And your computer is going to ask for permission to install it, or it may ask for permission to install it. If it does, just select yes, and then it will proceed with the installation. And it installs it pretty quick, and you can click finish, and now you should have in your apps, you should have DB browser and the SQL cipher for the SQLite DB browser. So I'm going to come into all apps and scroll down here, and I'm just going to put the SQL cipher icon in my taskbar by right clicking this and then going to more and clicking pin to taskbar. So now you'll see that I have down here in my taskbar this little database icon, and that's what I'll use to open the database that we're going to be working with. So we'll minimize our browser, and then I'm going to come down here and just click the DB browser icon, and that will open the database browser for SQLite. So now we can get into creating our database. I thought just for this demonstration I'll show you how to create a simple contacts database, and we'll just add one or two records to it. So with the DB browser open, all we have to do is click new database, and it's going to ask us, hey, where do you want to save this thing? And we can just pick a location on the computer to save it. And I have a databases directory on my computer, so I'm going to create a file called mydb.sqlite, and that's really all you need. You can see right here that you can use the DB file extension, the DB3 file extension, or the SQLite 3 file extension in addition to the SQLite. I normally just use SQLite, but you can use any of these. So I'm going to click Save, and now we have it opens this window to create the table definition, but you'll see here that we have the beginning of a database right here. And if we go back to that directory that we created the database in, let me find it here, you'll see that our database has been created. And this is a SQLite file, and SQLite is basically a database that is all saved in one file, and it's saved on your machine. And in this case, since we installed the SQL Cipher, it is encrypted. At any rate, our DB browser is asking us, hey, what table do you want to create here? Now, for our database, for this simple example, we're going to create one table, and it's going to have some contact information in it for some contacts that we want to keep track of. So I'm going to call this table contacts, and once I type that in there, I'll just click this add button right here, and then it wants to know what field I want to use, and I'm going to start with an ID, and that ID is going to be an integer. It's not going to be nullable. It's going to be a primary key. It's going to auto increment, and it'll be unsigned. Now I want to add the next field. This is going to be the first name, first underscore name. It's going to be text, and it's not nullable because we have to have a first name for each record. I'll click add to create the third field, which is going to be last underscore name, and it too is going to be a text field that's not nullable. Click our add button again, and this will be our phone, which you could just store integers, a 10-digit integer, but text is oftentimes better for a phone number because sometimes you want to save the parentheses or dashes or dots, and text will allow you to do that. However, you may not want to require the phone number to be stored, so we're going to leave this one nullable by not checking that box. And then we'll click add for the email field, which is going to be very similar to the phone field. It'll be text and it will be nullable. Now the thing about DB Browser is it tells you the data definition language right here. As you use the GUI, it shows you what the programming is for creating this table. So this is a nice way to brush up on your SQL, or just to learn SQL, the SQL language, in order to at the same time same time you are creating databases. But once you get everything defined up here like you want it, you just click OK, and it creates that table right there in our DB browser. Now, it's not saved to the file yet. You'll see here there's a journal file that's open, and watch what happens when I do this next step. Let me shrink this down so you can see what's going on here. When I save this, when I go up to File and click Save All, it saves it, and then that journal file goes away. And you'll see that our SQLite file now is larger than it was a minute ago. So now we've saved that data to the database. Now what that means is we can close this down and our data is still there. Let me just show you. Let's go in and open it back up, and we're going to open, not create a new database, we're going to open a database, and it's going to say, which one do you want to open? And we want to open this one that we just created. Click open, and see it's got our contacts table in the database. So how do we add data to this table now? That basically comes through the Browse tab. You have your database structure, which allows you to create tables and define how they're related to each other. And then you have your Browse Data tab, which allows you to add information. So when you're looking at the Browse Data tab, you can select the table that you want to put information into right here. And since we only have one table, it's already selected for us. But let's say we want to add a row in this table. Well, we just come over here to this icon, and if you point to it, it'll tell you what that icon does. Insert a new record in the current table. Now we're in the current table contacts, so if we want to add a record, we click this, and you'll see that it gives us ID number 1, and it wants the information. The first name we're going to call, let's just call it Eddie, and the last name we'll call Jameson, and we'll leave the phone number blank, and we'll give him a fake email address that goes to ed@example.com. Now once you get the information in there, all you have to do is just click this same button right here, and it'll allow you to add another one. And I'll just put my name in here for this one. And we'll just put in a fake phone number. And there you go. Now that you have the data that you want, again, you just need to save it. So once we have the information in the table the way we want it, we just come up here and click File, Save All, and then we can close this, and that information has been saved. If we open this again, now that we've closed it, and we open that same database, in the contacts, do we have any data? And we do. So when we browse the data now, we have 2 records. Now that's not the only way that you can add information to the database. You can actually run SQL queries. That's what this 4th tab does. So we saw how you create the table using the GUI. We saw how you add data using the GUI, but how do you insert data with commands? Well, you can do that. All you have to do, if you know SQL, you can just type the command to insert the record that you want. So let's say we want to add another record in our database. What we can do is just type insert, type the command out that you want to run, and let's say we're going to add the first name, the last name, the phone, and the email. We're going to add those 4 fields. We're going to add values to these fields, and we're just going to leave the ID off so that it'll auto increment to 3. So the next one should be 3. Now what values are we going to add? Well, they're all text values, so we can just start with 4 empty strings. The first one, let's call it Joe for the first name. The last name, let's make it Doe, Joe Doe, and his phone number we'll leave blank. His email will be joe@example.com. So now we have a record. Now incidentally, you can put as many of these in this in this window as you want. Like if you wanted to add multiple records, you could just do it this way and then just change these values. So let's do John Doe and Jane Doe. And we'll run that, and when I click the run button, which is this blue arrow, you'll see down here it says the query executed successfully. Now it says only one row was affected, but that's because of the way I ran these. It ran the first one and one row was affected. It ran the second one and one row was affected, and then it ran the third one and one row was affected. It just showed us each of them so fast that we couldn't see all of them. But if we close this SQL, actually we don't even have to close it, but if we close this and discard it and go back to browse the data, you'll see that we have actually we have 4. I must have ran that first one before and then ran it again. So that's good. That'll allow me to show you how you can delete records as well. So you can see here we have the same record in here 4 times, and we just need one of them. So let's run a delete. Let's run a delete query. Actually, I'll just show you how you can delete. If you click the row over here and highlight the thing, you can come up here and just click the delete the current record and it will delete it. And so that's how you do it here. But if you wanted to delete the record that has an ID of 5, you could do it with a SQL command right here. You could go delete from contacts where ID equals 5, and you'll see that one row was affected. It ran the delete command, and if we close this and come over here, you'll see now we've gotten rid of our 3 duplicates and kept the, well, actually we got rid of the original and 2 duplicates, and we kept the third or the 4th duplicate. At any rate, you get the idea. That's how you and you know you always want to remember to save your file and save all. If you don't and you forget, when you go to close the program, it will say, do you want to save the changes made to the database file? And if you just click save, it will save them and then it'll close. So again, when you save it, all your data is in there and you can open it up and store your information on your computer. And that's how you create a database, a SQLite database, using a graphical user interface, and we used the DB browser for SQLite to do it. I hope that helps, and thanks for watching.